English 121, Day 23. Reasons from the Allen and Bacon Guide, pages 336 to 38 and 347 to 48. Reasons are also known as premises. These are the subclaims that support your main claim. Remember, when looking at the overall argument structure, that the thesis is the broadest thing in the argument and it's going to be a debatable claim. Reasons are also debatable claims, but they're a little more focused and they state why the writer believes that particular claim to be true. Evidence, on the other hand, is the only factual information in an argument, the only thing that's not a debatable claim, and it is also the most specific part of the argument. Remember that when we were writing summaries, we focused only on reasons and theses and left out evidence. Reasons are usually linked to the claim using connecting words such as because, therefore, so, consequently, thus, and more. Your audience will expect you to weave back and forth between the claim and reasons. Be sure to create a thesis statement that breaks your argument into smaller parts, each devoted to one of the reasons. This way you will create a sort of map for your readers so that they will know where the argument is going and will expect it to head in a particular direction. When developing reasons and evidence, it can be helpful to use what's referred to as the Toulmin model. According to the Toulmin model, every time you link a claim with a reason, you make a silent assumption that may need to be articulated and examined. And in the Toulmin model, this underlying assumption is referred to as the warrant. In the statement, marijuana should remain scheduled as a Class 1 narcotic because otherwise there would be a rise in unwanted pregnancies, what do you think the underlying assumption or warrant might be? Well, first of all, there is an assumption here that there's some relationship between the legalization of drugs and their use. Otherwise, changing the scheduling of the drug wouldn't have an impact on anything related to the drug. Another assumption here is that marijuana use might lead to a rise in unwanted pregnancies. Now, that would be based on your beliefs about, for example, maybe marijuana's ability to lower your inhibitions. But if your audience doesn't already agree with those assumptions, they will need to be articulated and examined, otherwise the structure will fail, and the reason will not be seen as supporting the claim. Let's talk a little more about these underlying assumptions. If an audience doesn't agree with your assumption, then the argument flounders unless you're able to articulate the assumption and defend it. The complete frame of the argument must include that unstated assumption. It's important to examine the unstated assumption that connects any reason to its claim, because every time you link a claim with a reason, you're making that kind of silent assumption. You must determine whether the audience will accept the assumption, and then, if not, you need to make the assumption explicit and support it. Remember to articulate underlying assumptions as you develop reasons to make your overall theses more convincing.